Hey, ni ajeni. Tuko sawa. Welcome to Sporty Monday. It's quite an exciting weekend that we had. I'm so happy, first of all, that at least at European football imerudi. Sasa, hey, it's been quite a drought of football, but now it's back, and it came with even more happiness that Liverpool was defeated. Hussein Mohamed and Kimani Mbugua and not happy people. But the focus of the weekend was that sad affair, and it all began yesterday at 1 p.m. when I was talking to one Kelvin Maingi of Citizen TV Sports Desk, and he was at the match at Kasarani, and he said something that caught my attention. He said that the players have not received their allowances, and they went on to be kanyagwad by the Taifa Stars. Of course, what else did you expect if that happened and that stadium haikuwa imejaa? All right, the question of the day today that we're asking is, what do you think we need to do to boost our national team, Harambee Stars? What do you think we need to do to boost the national team, Harambee Stars? You can SMS 22422. The hashtag is Daybreak, and already you can see some feedback that is coming in. But we're going to be taking that a little bit later on. First, let me introduce the panel. We have Japicha. Ako ndani kabisa, karibu sana. Na leo tumevaa uniform kila mtu. Na tumeamua leo tuko ndani. Oposha kwa hapa hivi. He's with us here. Ken Erickson Jeru, a clean up Rasta man. Mwana alisikia Uhuru anaenda huko Jamaica. Ameanza kufuga sasa madredi vizuri. Yes, and Isaac Swila is with us again today. John Kianda will be joining us maybe later. Every time Arsenal loses like they did yesterday to Barcelona, he beats a hasty retreat. And Steven Chitara is in Seattle, the United States. So he'll be joining us next week. That is, if he's not deported. Anyway, I joke. The first thing that I talked about there is Taifa Stars beating Harambee Stars. Let's take a look at that game that happened yesterday before we get reactions from the panel here.
As the center referee blew the whistle to set the ball rolling in front of the Kenyan home crowd, both Kenya and Tanzania were cognizant of the high stakes surrounding the match as the two neighbors met for the third time this year. The first 45 minutes showcased dull football, with its side proving cagey with nothing to show in terms of attack. After the break, Harambee Stars began to show some urgency, but they failed to capitalize on the open chances. Harambee Stars needed a win of any sort, while the Taifa Stars would have progressed with any scoring draw, but the game had to be decided in a penalty shootout. Tanzania scored all 4 penalties, while Michael Kibwage and Josh Onyango failed to convert for the Harambee Stars.
Tumesema tunakanyaga mpaka CHAN. Tuko tayari kabisa, imara, uwezo tunao, sababu na nia ya ushindi tunayo.
Tuna furaha, na mimi kama mbunge kijana na furaha kwa vijana wetu, wamefanya vizuri na wapongeza sana Taifa Star.
While the Tanzanian camp was in high celebrations, things were totally different for Kenya.
Hakuna vile tunaweza toka draw na TZ away. Tukuje tu watupige pena kwetu. Hakuna hapo kwa penalty. Achague wenye wanapiga penalty. Defense ilikuwa mzuri, lakini hapa kwa striker hakukuwa bwana.
Coach, tunataka coach mwingine.
Harambee Stars head coach Sebastian Minya, however, thinks his charges gave their best.
I offer the possibility to the fans to dream with the AFCON, you know, and you didn't dream since a long time about football, concerning football.
Tanzania will face Sudan in the final qualifying round of the CHAN Championship in September. Kelvin Kimaili, Citizen TV.
Kelvin there with the beautiful story, aptly capturing what was happening. What do you think about that match? Japicha, it's okay if I call you Japicha.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
You know, yesterday when I was going to the stadium, and I saw many people going to the stadium. The reason being that Kenyans will love football. Mm-hmm. It's like Nigeria. We really love football. But now, I was asking myself, the gate collection, we were given 100 shillings to get to the stadium. And then I was wondering, are we going to perform as Harambee Stars? And the answer was there at the end of the 90 minutes. I think we are disappointing Kenyans as Harambee Stars. Even next time, if we put that we pay 20 shillings to get to the game, how many people will go? People will not be attending. So the problem is, I think, as the management of the football, the FKF need to do something, and it's high time that we think about a coach who has Kenya and understand the Kenyan football. Because Minye, I thought when Kimanzi resigned from Madari, he was going to take the charges at Harambee Stars. I knew Minye was not going to come back. And to my surprise, he's still there. And he's saying that he's still going to see his contract. So what are we going to do as Kenyans? If we call that this guy to be fired, people are resigning freely. How many managers resigned after AFCON? So many. And he's still there. We cannot perform. What's the problem? He's not even attending the tournaments that we are having for the under 16, under 17, under whatever, even the high school games. How can you get teams that can perform? How can you build a future? You cannot. Even if Chan, we are okay. We say Tanzania came because they wanted revenge for the AFCON. But now what do we do after this? Do we need to fire Minye? Do we need to hire another coach? Do we need to get a local coach? Those are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves as Kenyans. Yes.
Kenyan, unadhani kwamba pia hiyo kutolipwa ilikuwa factor kidogo?
Ijumaa tulikuwa Radio Citizen na Kianda na tukasema vizuri sana kama timu ya Harambee Stars, kumbuka hadi chakula kwa ile hoteli walikuwa nakaa chakula haijalipwa. Yani hata ile mechi tukiingia kwa ile mechi kitu ilikuwa ni kulikuwa na mucho agreement ya ile game ichezo. Kumbuka FKF walikuwa wamesema wana pesa ya kucheza ile mechi, walikuwa nataka 19 million. Na governor ikasema hiyo 19 million haiwezi toka with the time yenye ilikuwa hapo ya hiyo game. Kwa hivyo ile jamaa anaingia kwa uwanja hajapewa allowance kwa ile game alienda ya Tanzania. Huyu jamaa unataka acheze pate victory kwa ile game, ni jamaa ambaye hajalipwa allowances, hajakuwa akipewa pesa na timu ya Harambee Stars na FKF hawajakuwa wakipewa pesa. Kwa hivyo nafikiri management vile ndugu yangu amesema hapa, management inafaa iangalie sana kwa mechi kama hizi. Kumbuka tulikuwa na Isaac Sula akiwa pale AFCON. Hao FKF walitoa pesa mbele, wakitoa squad ya AFCON, walitoa squad ya AFCON ya CHAN. Kumaanisha FKF ilikuwa tu inajua kuna hiyo mechi itachezwa after African Cup of Nations. Kwa hivyo kumaliza kwa CHAN na kuingia kwa kumaliza kwa AFCON na kuingia kwa CHAN ingekuwa time enough ya FKF kujua watacheza kwa CHAN after AFCON. Kwa hivyo mimi hizi maneno yote ya pesa, na kumbuka ile kikosi ambayo ilicheza siku ya jana, ukiangalia mtu kama Kingston Mieso unacheza na yeye center back. Tunajua vizuri anacheza CDM. Unamrudisha kwa center back. Angalia kwa Duke Abuye anacheza wing. Kwa hivyo mimi nadhani bado Minye hajaelewa hii squad. Anaelewa squad ya AFCON, ile squad iko na professional players ambao tunaona wakicheza kwa EPL, wakicheza huko Belgium League, lakini hajaelewa wenye wanacheza kwa Kenya Premier League. Kwa hivyo achie Francis Kimanzi ambaye anajua local talent aweze kuendelea kuongoza Harambee Stars kwa mechi kama hizi ya CHAN ambayo inachezwa na players ambao wako domestic league.
Na Swila, you aptly prophesied AFCON. So what do you think about, first of all, everybody's raising a question about management, and we had thought that at least if it allows us to see, it's a thing of the past. Two, here comes Sudan. How will we perform?
You see, Raburu, first of all, I want to give a free advice to Coach Minye. Don't pick fights with journalists. They say you can't win a fight with those who buy ink by the barrel. Yeah, we do that. So when you start fighting journalists left, right, and center, you are losing the plot. Two, we need to ask ourselves whether Minye is proud to be in Kenya to lead the Kenya national team. From where I sit, I have misgivings. Why? After the assignment in Egypt, Cairo, I was in that plane with the team and a host of FKF officials and several journalists returning home, landing here at 3 a.m. Minye and his entourage were nowhere in the picture. They took a vacation to France, which is good. I'm sure his boss had given him that permission. But definitely, if you go for such kind of a tournament and you are representing the nation, the least we expected for him is to come back home, awe na kikao na wanahabari. He tells us his plan, his review of the tournament going forward. Up to now, he hasn't done that. Then now we are heading to Chan, and you see we've been tossed out by Amino, let me call it Amino, Tanzania. I think this is not justification, because Chan, we've never graced it since it was introduced by CAF several years back. Remember 2 years ago we were to host this tournament, and it was taken away from us because we were not ready in terms of infrastructure. As we are speaking, Raburu, Nyayo National Stadium, the renovation was abandoned. There's no progress that has been made in any way whatsoever. Now, I don't think the allowances is to blame for this team being knocked out. We know the bureaucracy in the government, though I don't speak for them and I don't want to defend them in any way. Those boys that were selected, I don't think they did enough to defend the flag and to fight bravely to take us to the next stage. They did. Thirdly, Raburu.
Blame them, you know, to defend the flag. Okay, it's good to defend the flag,
yes,
but flag yes,
you have to sweat the last drop, you see. Some of those players, a few of them were in AFCON. They got staggering allowances. Did we get the results? No. So you can't tell me one match ujalipo allowance, no, saying it's two. So you, even us here, sazingine mshara ikichelewa, does it mean you doesn't come on the screen? You see, we are saying now, these boys need to be patriotic. And this mentality ya mtani kwamba sijalipwa, so they need to get out of there first of all. And it's a high time these players went for training and went for education on how to build their careers and how to handle media and how to build their images. It is lacking. The federation should play a role in that. We haven't seen it. Now, coming to Minye, I don't think he understands this team. And he raised a fundamental question. Many a times we go to these stadia to cover the league matches. Do we see him there doing the scouting? The national school games just ended in Kisumu, where we had schools from across the country going there. Okay, did he do the scouting, or did he have his guys do the scouting? These are the questions we are asking. Because a few years from now, you saw the over-reliance Kenya had on Oliech. Right now, we are deeply relying on Olunga. After a few years, he'll be stepping out and handing over that baton. But whom does he hand it over to? Again, I've not really understood why Nicholas Kipkirui, who is a very promising attacker, could not nail a slot in that team. It baffles me. So from where I sit, I think Minye owes Kenyan some answers.
So do you think, and again, it's not a campaign that we are fronting, but do you think someone, Francis Kimanzi or somebody else, what is the makeup of a good coach for Harambee Stars, Japisha?
I think for Harambee Stars, we need someone who understands Kenyan football. We need someone who can go and attend school games. We need a manager who can pick a team that he understands that this is my team. Enos Ochieng was benched, and we had a striker from Kariobangi Sharks. What's the criteria that you used to play, and Kipkirui was not even on the bench? So we need someone who understands the Kenyan football, especially Chan. Let me go back to AFCON. After AFCON, did the management and the players and even the media, did they sit down and then reflect on what did not work out at AFCON? It never happened. Minye went to France for vacation. Swila said, that's fine. We gave him time to be with family.
Yes.
But after that, even before
the qualifiers.
The qualifiers for the AFCON, did you sit down? Did you even have that conversation with players, with stakeholders, and say that we went to AFCON, this did not happen, this did not work, this is what worked. Now we are going to, for the CHAN qualifiers, this is what we need to do. Team selection, he said that some of the players that he selected left the local league, like Kahata and the likes. But we need to always have the understanding that some players will always leave. And if they leave, who are coming in? And if you cannot identify those who are coming in, how can you maintain a team? So we need that. For me, Minye, I thought Minye could have resigned
out of a contract.
Yes. Say that, okay, you give me a job, I performed, I beat Tanzania, and thank you for the job. Because even AFCON, we did not qualify in that a good way. A team was disbanded. So we need to reflect, we need to have that coach that understands the Kenyan football.
But again, and is the solution that a coach, or will after a few games the new coach who comes pia tutasema huyu sasa pia atuelewi atoka?
But no, Raburu, you need to see how our team plays.
Yes.
What kind of football is Harambee Stars playing, even in AFCON? You defend, you sit back and just relax, and then what kind of football?
You pack the bus,
yes,
the minivan,
if it is not working for a coach, you change.
Yes.
That's what Chelsea have been doing, and they've been winning cups.
Okay.